This morning, you can break up the winter monotony with a little color.
Overland Park Arboretum has some special felts on display. And that's where we find Joel Nichols this morning, out in the woods, showing us how wool in the woods comes together. Joel?
That's right. I'm just standing out in the woods. That's exactly what I'm doing. And it is absolutely a beautiful place to be any time of the year. Where I grew up, there was a barber, and every time you'd walk into his shop, he'd reach over and touch whatever you were wearing, your shirt sleeve, and say, "Is that felt?" And you'd say, "No." And he'd go, "Well, it is now." Well, guess what? This is felt all the time. Old jokes are the best ones. This is absolutely beautiful out here. And look who we find. They're not made of felt. Catherine's not made of felt. Tell us what's happening out here through the end of March.
Sure, the Feltmakers Federation of Kansas City put this great exhibit together. There are 10 artists working with us, and they made these sculptures out of felted wool, and it's just a fun way to enjoy the woods in the wintertime and see a fun pop of color, and it'll be here through the end of March.
It really does. You come around the corner, for example, and you see this, and it really catches your eye, and it really kind of takes you by happy surprise. You're one of the artists, Carol Ann. Now, some of these people, some of these artists have their own sheep that provide their materials.
Exactly, and it's kind of a process that some of them like to do where they actually breed sheep and get the quality of wool that they would like to have for particular kinds of projects. So yeah, it's an interesting process.
How long does it take? Earlier this morning we showed your flying pig sculpture out here, your felt. How long does it take to create something like that?
Well, I worked on it about a month, but you know, it wasn't like every day for hours and hours. So the total time was probably about 30 hours.
It's beautiful. And your hat is something you create.
Yes, I like making hats. And, you know, it's another art form where you can have wearables out of felt. And you start with the raw wool and get this all together so that it bonds and forms a fabric at the same time that you design the structure that you're making.
Do you still have, you showed it to us earlier, the little, the actual raw material that you kind of start with? That's beautiful. Look at that.
And this is the natural color of the sheep that it came from, a very light beige. And these fibers will bond together when they are agitated and worked in warm, soapy water. So it's one of the lost arts and an old art form from ancient days. And you just don't see it that often anymore because people don't work on this.
It's absolutely beautiful. You can enjoy it and walk through the Arboretum. Later, Carol Ann is going to weave that into something to cover my bald spot. So we're very excited about that. It is Wool in the Woods. Be a part of it here at the Arboretum. A great way to enjoy this beautiful space, even in the winter. So March has now come in like a flying pig.
I really felt that. Thank you, Joel.
Oh, gosh.